This afternoon, I want to talk to you about it is the impossible that rules. It is the impossible that reigns. It is impossible that rules. It is impossible, or the impossible that rules. Now, I want to say good afternoon to my senior brother and friend, a colleague, worker in the vineyard of the Lord, Pastor Theophilus Geoffrey's Living Faith Ministry. I believe strongly that you are doing the listening, and I want to send my warm greetings to you wherever you are. God bless you as you keep listening to Loloj FM. This is your friend and brother, Reverend Israel Abambillah, from Rhema Way Chapel. This afternoon I'm standing in for Rhema School of Wisdom, and I always come on your way every blessed Sunday, 2:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. And it is always a refreshing time. Well, if you read your Bible, the book of Luke, the chapter 1, verse 37, it says that whatever that is impossible with man, with God, all things are possible. And you can have this confirmation in the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 26. And Jesus Christ turned and told them that it may seem impossible with man, but with God all things are possible. I want to talk to you about it is the impossible that rules. The world is not for the low thinkers. This generation is not for those who are lazy-minded people. It is for those who can dream beyond their own understanding, dream beyond their environment, dream beyond their mental capacity, stretch themselves to a point where they can do what human beings cannot do. Never do anything below what people do, and never do what other people do. You must do things that are quite historical. You cannot enter into the book of history until you are able to do something unusual. I want to tell you this afternoon that anything that looks impossible is attemptable. You can only rise to prominence if you have the guts today to do something unusual. You can read history, talk about John Knox, Martin Luther King Jr. You can talk about Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. You can talk about Nelson Mandela. You can talk about Robert Schuller. You can talk about all the best world changers, and they will tell you the difference between the mediocre and the successful is their ability to stretch themselves to do the impossible and the unusual. You cannot dream ordinarily and become extraordinarily. You can only become extraordinary when you dream beyond the ordinary. I want you to understand this afternoon that anything that you are enjoying today, it was yesterday's impossibilities. Whatever you enjoy, any good thing that you can touch and experience today, yesterday it was impossible. But somebody saw the impossible and attempted the impossible and bring the impossible to a place of possibility. God has made man in a way that man is so powerful enough to turn the surface of the earth. And God has given man his endorsement. God has given man his mandate. God has given man his consent. And that is why you told Adam and Eve that you must take dominion over the earth. Man was created to be a dominion taker. Don't accept anything below that. If you're in this life and you want to follow formalities, you want to follow customs, and you want to follow traditions, you are a failure in disguise. Those that fly the aeroplanes, they are just like you. Those that manufacture the airplanes, they are just like you. Those who manufactured cars, they are just like you. Those who are able to put up story buildings, they are just like you. Those who are able to come out with a motorbike that we ride today, it was yesterday impossibility, but it came through somebody. Don't sit down and wait, and sit there and blame the environment, and sit there and blame the economy, and sit there and blame people who are around you. God has made you in the way that you can be a dominion taker, and you can do what other people cannot do, and that will make you a historical maker. You will never taste success if you want to follow patterns and follow your family background and follow people who are around you. You cannot be above your competitors, and you cannot be above people who are around you until you have the mind to dream beyond ordinary dreams. What others don't do and what others cannot do is what you should attempt doing. In your attempt to become great and successful, it stretches your understanding and stretches your mind. It intensifies your faith to do what other people cannot do. It's just a matter of a mindset. God did not bring you in this life to be a mere observer. There are so many people across the world that they are mere observers. They watch people build houses. They watch people buy cars. They watch people build bigger ministries. They watch people succeed. They watch people break records in their families and in their schools. They watch people who actually take over the market atmosphere. They watch people pass their exams, and they themselves, they never do anything for their own self and for their lives. God did not bring you in this life to be a spectator, watching what people do and how people are succeeding. What about you? You can also be like them. We have 5 people living in this planet Earth. 5 group of people, and I want to help you find yourself in one of these group of people. Number 1, those who hear about news. Number 1, those who hear about news. Number 2, those who witness news. Number 2, those who witness news. Number 3, those who compose the news. Number 3, those who compose the news. Number 4, those who are completely out of the news. For them, they cannot hear the news. They don't witness any news. They can't compose news. In fact, they are completely out of every news in the system. And number 5, those who are news themselves. They are news themselves. They are able to do something that transforms the mind of people. They are able to do something that no any other person can actually perform. And they have become news by themselves. You can hear about them in the radio station, the television station. You can read about it in the net. They are news makers themselves. So I want to ask you this afternoon, that are you somebody who hear about news? Are you somebody who always witness news? Are you someone who always you witness the news and you decide to compose the news? Write a story about the news. Or you are somebody who don't actually know anything about any news. You are not a newsmaker, you are not a news composer, you are not a news hearer. And we have those who are news themselves. When you see their lives, it is news. When they open their mouth to speak, it is news. When you visit their office, it is news. When you go to their house, it is news. When you see their car, it is news. They are news themselves. And I want to ask you this afternoon, which category of people do you belong to? But I want to challenge you this afternoon that you must be a newsmaker yourself. You should be able to put up a house that nobody has ever built that house before. You should be able to buy a car that nobody ever bought that car before. You should be able to do something that according to history nobody ever did it before. Be a newsmaker yourself. Let the journalists come around you and let the spectators come around you. Let people come around you to listen to your story. And when you open your mouth to speak, you become news yourself. I want to announce to this afternoon that God will never create the world for the second time. He left the world in the hands of a man, and we are responsible of changing our society. We are responsible of changing our nation. We are responsible of changing people who are around us. We should not sit there and wait thinking that God will come back again to recreate the world. We are co-creatures with God. God has created you so that you can create your own world. Create the world you want to live in. You want to have a peaceful marriage? You want to have a successful business? You want to be, an excellent academia? You can create the world that you want to live in. God created you so that you can create your world. Determine the kind of world you want to live in and begin to create it. If you want to be a graduate, it is in your hands. If you want to be an excellent farmer, it is in your hands. If you want to be a business acumen, it is in your hands. God created you and brought you into this world so that you can also create your own world. Jephthah was stuck from the father's house, and the Bible says he left to another city and he began to conquer nations until a city was named after Jabez. And there was another man called Jephthah. A city was named after Jephthah. Why? They did what no man can do. Don't ever think below your standard. Chai. Never desire from life what is easily achievable. Child, you will be a commoner. Never desire in life what is easily achievable. Don't follow the lane and don't follow patterns. And then just do things because you saw people doing it. Never desire from life what is easily achievable. You must do the difficult ones. Until you become what I cannot become, you must do what I cannot do. Never settle down for anything less. Aim high and walk high and fly high and so high to the highest high. You belong to the highest pinnacle. You belong to the top. The top is your destination. The top is your place to be. The top is what God wants you to actually be. You belong to the top, and you cannot climb the top until you think the topmost thinking. And as you think, you must have a Goliath mentality. You must have a huge mentality, a massive mentality to achieve the impossible. You cannot affect your world until you stand out and step out. You can never affect your world positively. You must stand out among people, and you must also step out. When others are standing and they are scared and they are afraid, you must take the risk and step out. You must stand out among your competitors and step out and do the unusual and the impossible. The world is ruled by the impossible. There are some people, they are automatically impossible. When you put them at the shop, they will work. When you put them in a classroom, they will work. When you send them to farm, they will come out with flying colors. You put them in the classroom, they will do the unusual. You must be able to stand out and step out and fly out and do the unusual. Hallelujah. Destiny never wait for any man. You must search for your destiny and pursue your destiny. You are listening to the voice of Reverend Israel Abambillah. He is the pastor of Rhema Wave Chapel, and the program is Rhema Waves. I'm talking about the world is ruled by the impossible people. People who never take no as an answer. People who dare in and take risk. And like I always told you, it is very risky not to take risk. When you don't take risk, you are rather risking your life. I'm saying that it is very risky not to take risk. And don't sit down and be thinking about problems. Sit down and think about solutions that can lead you to another level. And that is why I maintain the fact that the problem is not the problem, but thinking about the problem is the problem of the real problem. You want me to repeat it? The problem is not the problem, but the problem is thinking about the problem. The problem is not the problem, but thinking about the problem is the real problem of the problem. Be a man who is uncommon. Be a man who do things that are not usual. Be a man who do the impossible things. What people criticize, what people don't want to venture in. The risk that people don't want to take those risks. Now, when you take the risk that somebody cannot take, it makes you ahead of the person. Don't sit down and think traditional thinking and think about ordinary thinking and formality thinking and cultural thinking and thinking according to the perspective of your environment. I want you to know that God put you in that environment because you are above your environment. You are there to affect your environment. You are there to change things. Don't think like your environment. Think like an environmental changer. Chai! Well, wonderful listener, I want you to understand this afternoon that I want to actually tell you why some people cannot do the impossible. I want to tell you why people cannot actually take that step of doing the impossible. And we thank God for the woman of God. He said you should believe in God. When God is with you, all things are possible. With man, it is impossible. But when God is in you and God is with you, you will make it possible. It is not by might nor by power. It is by the Spirit of the living God. You need to have enthusiasm. You need to have enough faith to step out. Believe God that the God that can do impossible will be able to help me through, and I'll be able to make what I didn't even think that I can do. I want you to know that those who can never do the impossible, number one, are those who always think about their stomach. They only only think about themselves and they don't think about any other person. Until you become a selfless man, until you become a generational thinker, until you think beyond your own stomach, you remain there and you cannot do anything unusual. People wake up in the morning and all that they think about is their own daily bread. And they will quote you a scripture. The Father, give us this day our daily bread. All that they are looking for the rest of their life, everything the 4 hours is their own daily bread. Only for their stomach. Is it daily bread that God promised Abraham? Was the ministry of Jesus Christ all about bread? You are not alive today because of the food you eat today. You are alive today because God wants to use you as a point of contact to affect other generations. Until you become a generational thinker, when you think only about your stomach, you cannot dare in to do what people cannot do. World changers never think about themselves. Look at any great man in your society, any great man in your church, any great man in Ghana, any great man in South Africa, any great man in United States of America, any great man across the world. They are generational thinkers. They see beyond their own dreams. They see beyond their family. They see beyond their environment. See beyond your environment and reach out to the world. The world is your mission field. The world is your market. The world is what you should look out for. Not only in Wahoy, not only in Biplan, not only in Abansi. If you are a village champion, don't be proud of it because you can dream beyond your village. Don't be a village champion, be a global champion. You must dream beyond your present situation and you must see beyond your present environment and reach out to the world. And finally, if you want to save your life, you lose it. If you want to save your life, you don't want to trust God to step out. You will rot in your room. You will die with your visions. You will die with your ideas. Don't think of your life. Risk your life out and trust God. And like I always say, whatever you want to do, make sure that it is moral and it is legal. Don't say that, Pastor Israel said that you can do the impossible. Then you go and kill your first son or your first daughter or your wife for rituals. Whatever you want to do, let it be legal and let it be moral so that my hands will be clean. Good afternoon. I want to add that, look, you must dare in for history. You must dare in for history. You must be a history maker. The most painful thing in life is for somebody to be alive and die, and after 1 week, your name disappear from the surface of the earth. It is so painful for you to be a pastor and you die and you are gone, and after 2 weeks, nobody remembers you. You should be able to live your life in a way that even your third and fourth generation will come and meet some of the things that you are able to do, and they can remember that one man ever lived on earth. This is your friend and brother, Reverend Israel Abambillah from the Rimaway Chapel. But I came and I stood in for Rima School of Wisdom, and I remain Reverend Israel Abambillah as your usual host. I always come on your way every blessed Sunday, 2:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. My time is up. You want to be my friend? Why not? You want to meet me on WhatsApp, whatever, Facebook, whatever, I am there for you. I can be of good service to you. You can call to ask any question. You can call for a prayer. You can call for counseling. Whatever situation you find yourself, I'll be there to stand in for you because I am in for this generation. Not only about myself. You can call me on 024 94 12 702 024 94 12 702 024 94 12 702 024 94 12 702. Don't forget to go to any bookshop in town. Just ask for the books of Reverend Israel Abambillah, especially the recent one, the latest book in town. And the title is How to Build a Glorious Future. Go to any bookshop. This book will change your life and make your life a blessing. This afternoon, I remain the same, Reverend Israel Abambillah, and I've been accompanied with Pastor Grace Azari. And we want to say, I kunna matata, na me love you. Mwah! I'm out.
What's up,